Hey, this is Dan Blewett. It's Thursday, August 23rd, and I guess that would make it day 17 of my surgery recovery. So this week's been pretty uninteresting. Well, not completely. I moved back to Bloomington. I'm in my gym, obviously. I've met a new physical therapist, and he's a smart guy. Um, I've got my brace unlocked, so I'm currently at 20 degrees of extension, and full as far as this brace is concerned. This only goes to 110 flexion. I can go there, and of course you see my massively bulging forearm muscles are getting pinched up in there. So um, that's good. Passive range of motion with my therapist Brian has been really good. I'm pretty much full extension with my. I'm at pretty much full extension, and then we measured me on my left arm, and just for reference sake, I'm doing this on a webcam on my MacBook. Um, this is my right arm. This is my left. It mirrors it for some reason, so it actually confused the hell out of me the other day looking at the video playback. But anyway, my left is 149 degrees flexion at passive range of motion, and I'm at 144 with this one right now. So I'm really close to getting complete range of motion back, and it's great because we don't have to push it because I'm still. That usually doesn't come till about 4 weeks or 5 weeks. So I'm doing pretty good at 2 and change. Um, we've been doing some more, little more interesting finger and digit work and this kind of stuff. And I'm gripping we tested my left to right grip strength on a hand dynamometer, and my left was 140 pounds of pressure, and my right's at 80. So a little more than halfway back. And the 140 for reference is, a mid-season after taking 8 weeks off from getting injured. So what my off-season peak baseline would be, I don't know. But anyway, so that's just relative left to right, which is good. I'm glad he took those measurements because that's interesting to me to see, progress. Again, it's as I talked about in one of my newsletters, you have a goal, figure out where you are, how do you get, from point A to point B. Other than that, not a lot's been too interesting. I got my stitches out. They put steri strips on top of them. They fall out in 3 or 4 days, depending on your clothing's interaction with them. And after that, and they're completely closed, we'll start scar massage. We're going to start scar tissue massage on my elbow area real gently because I had a lot of it last time. And let's see, just in general, when those incisions are closed, I'll be able to do more stuff as far as, cardiovascularly or in the gym. Just low impact stuff. They suggest biking and elliptical, that kind of nonsense, which I would rather than do elliptical. So I plan on walking with a sled, that kind of stuff, which is more up my alley. Still low impact, and obviously I'd be wearing I think a belt instead of maybe a harness. I have some pretty nice harnesses that won't involve my arm, but I'll probably start with a belt first just for safety anyway. And that's really about it. It's nice that I have obviously resources. I'm busy. People have been complimenting me recently mentally about where I'm at. Obviously I'm the same guy. I'm not depressed. I'm not walking around sulking about it. And I really haven't since the surgery. Obviously, I had my breakdowns as, with my age and the way my season was going, anticipating that I'd get my chance this year based on my numbers and just everything that was going well. Obviously, I had my breakdowns about, the disappointment and a little bit of grieving for my career, but at the same time, I just fully expect to be back where I am. And then once I'm back where I am, I fully expect that my training and the experimentation I can do will get me to where I want to go. And if I didn't believe that, I wouldn't have bothered with the surgery. When it happened, and I've been actually writing a lot, and I'm hoping is going to turn into a pretty interesting book. When it happened, I just didn't feel in my heart that it was time to let it go, even though realistically it probably is. But there's little stories here and there. The guy Steve Delabar's in the big leagues, screws in his elbow. got there at a later age, and Jim Morris, the rookie, obviously, and you can't be one of those people if you give up. So you never know what the chips could hold. So I got my surgery. We'll see how it shakes out. Like I said, I fully expect to be great a year from now, and then even better 8 months thereafter in 2014. So with those expectations, and I certainly think my out of the box thinking in the gym, can I add 3 miles per hour to the the low to mid 90s that I was throwing in spring training? Why not? Why couldn't I? It's 3% more power production. Doesn't seem like a lot, So we'll see, and that's at the end of the day that, and my gym and seeing the athletes that make my off-season job really enjoyable. It's keeping me busy, and I'm in a pretty mentally good place. And aside from that, there's some of my friends have remarked that there's been a change in me, just personality-wise. I'm less pessimistic, and I've always been a cynical guy, but I think just my journey with meditation in the last 6 months has given me a lot more indifference to negativity and consequences. I'm looking for apartments now. I found one that I really like. May or may not get it because of sort of the rigors of being a small business owner. I mean, the short end of it is adjusted income. When you optionally put your profit back into the gym at the end of the year, if you have to provide a tax return to prove your income, it's pretty low when you give everything that would be your income back into the gym. So it could affect my ability to get housing that I want, but it's going to be what it's going to be. My elbow's going to recover the way it's going to recover. I'm going to do what I can, see what happens. So just with that attitude, I live my life, and I don't stress about things. I'm not stressing about my arm. I'm not any of that. And I think that has a lot of positive healing benefits. And obviously, when you're stressed, there's just tons of stress-related illness, and there's tons of stress-related, anxiety, and that produces illness, and all that stuff is just it just takes its toll on your body. And I feel like I'm much more immune to that than I was before, almost ataraxic in a sense. So, and that's a big part of it, because I've gotten some emails asking, hey, I went through a surgery. One of the guys who reads my blogs named George D'Ambrosio. He's a super nice guy. Writes me once in a while. Says, I got rotator cuff surgery, and I was just real depressed about it, and just happened to have other people help me and doing all this stuff, and I completely relate to that. And I went through that with my last one, and I feel it a little bit here and there, but honestly, my armor is a lot thicker, I think, this time than it was the first time through, and I think it's partly the experience and probably some maturity, and also, like I said, just some more plastic changes that have occurred as a result of spending time working on my thought processes. So anyway, I think that's about it. I'll probably put another one of these up in a week. In about a week, I get a lot more exciting stuff to do with my forearm and shoulder and scap kind of stuff, so I'm looking forward to that. All right,